You wake up, and before you even get out of bed, you already know. Something is going to be tight. Something is going to hurt. And somewhere in the back of your mind, you wonder if today is just going to be another day of managing it. I want you to know something before we go any further. You are not imagining it. Your body is doing something very real, and it is doing so on purpose. Here's what I mean. Most people are taught that pain means damage, that tightness means that something is broken, that weakness means that something is failing. But that is not what is actually happening. Your nervous system does not malfunction. It adapts. Every symptom you have, the tightness that never fully lets go, the weakness that doesn't really respond no matter how much you strengthen it, and the pain that moves around and never really makes sense, that is your nervous system doing exactly what it was designed to do. Protect you. The problem is not that it's broken. The problem is that it never got the message that the threat passed. Think about a smoke alarm. If there's a fire, the alarm goes off. That is the correct response. But what if the fire is out and the alarm keeps going? The alarm isn't broken. It just never received confirmation that it was safe to stop. That is chronic pain. Your nervous system learned at some point that protection was really necessary, and it kept protecting, even after the original threat was gone. Now, here's the part that most clinicians never address. There are 3 things that keep the nervous system stuck in protection mode. And until one or more of these gets addressed, nothing holds. Not the PT, not the stretching, not the strengthening. Nothing. The first one is old injuries and scars that were never fully resolved. Your nervous system remembers everything, even the things you have forgotten. Surgery from 10 years ago, scar from childhood, maybe an old ankle sprain that you pushed through. These are not just physical memories. They're also neurological ones. And they can quietly drive compensation patterns throughout your entire body for years without anyone connecting the dots. The second is breathing patterns that signal threat. Most people in chronic pain breathe in a way that keeps their nervous system activated without even knowing it. Shallow breathing, chest breathing, breath holding under load. These are not just habits, they are signals, and your nervous system reads every single one of them. When breathing becomes a threat signal, the brain increases protection throughout the entire body. And no amount of stretching or strengthening changes that until breath changes first. The third thing is sensory input that the brain cannot make sense of. This is the one that almost nobody talks about. Your vision, your balance system, your jaw. These are not separate from your pain. They are directly connected to how safe your nervous system feels in your body. When any one of these systems is compromised, even subtly, the brain increases protection. And that protection shows up as tightness, pain, guarding, and movement you can't seem to retain no matter how hard you try. I want to give you a real example of what this looks like in practice here. I had a client, she's 70 years old, and she'd been dealing with low back pain and hip pain for years. She had seen multiple practitioners and nothing resolved her pain. When she came in to see me, I wasn't really focused on her back. I was focused on what her nervous system was protecting and why. After looking through her history, I found an old scar on her chin. Not her back, not her hip, her chin. And that scar was over 65 years old. But when we addressed that chin scar, her toe touch improved by 3 inches. and her back pain dramatically dropped. That is not a miracle. This is what happens when you stop chasing the symptom and start investigating the system. Her back was never the problem. It was the place that was paying the price. Now, I want to be honest with you about something. Not every case is that simple. Some people, like me, have more than one layer driving their pain. Some people have a lot of layers, like me. The more compensation patterns that you have built up over time, the more layers there are to work through. But the rule never really changes. You have to address what the nervous system is protecting before you add more effort. More effort on top of unresolved compensation patterns just creates more compensation. This is why people who are doing everything right and they still stay stuck. They're working harder on the wrong layer. If any of this sounds familiar, I want you to know something. Your body is not broken. It is misunderstood. And when your body is misunderstood, you can chase symptoms forever. But when it starts to make sense, everything changes faster than you expect. I built the Misunderstood Body Reset experience specifically for this, and it's free. It walks you through exactly how to test your body, perform a reset, and then retest so you can see the change instantly for yourself. Not because I promised you, but because you experienced it. That is your next step. The link is in the description. And if you're ready to go deeper, I also have a course called Why Stretching Does Not Work. And it's $47. And it is the direct next step after the reset experience for anyone who wants to understand what is actually driving their pain. Both links are in the description below. I'll see you on the next one.